If it hasn't been completely obvious by now, I'm a huge fan of Nintendo, so why not make a list showing my 10 favorite Nintendo-owned franchises? Meaning that Nintendo has to have either made them or owned them, and that's all I really need to say about the requirements. Though I do need to point out that this list will most likely contradict yours, as some big-name Nintendo franchises aren't even on here. So before you leave that comment saying, how come so-and-so isn't on the list, just listen to the reasons why I enjoy these series, then make your own list. Okay, rambling over, let's start this list! F-Zero, baby! This has to be the only Nintendo franchise that demands that the player has the skill to even finish a race in one piece. The high-speed, accelerated action is enough to make your eyes melt. Follow that up with having quick reflexes, 30 other racers, jaw-dropping locations, and you have a franchise that demands you get better or get left in the dust. It bothers me that many people don't know how to properly handle an F-Zero racer, so I'm gonna let you in on a tip. Use the freaking L and R buttons to help you move left and right. As of right now, I only have the N64, GameCube, and one of the GBA games, and I'm still waiting on a new one to come out. Don't disappoint me, Wii U. Yep, Pikmin is in my top 10, and it should rightfully be there. The best feature this game has is the ability to command an army of plant people who will do whatever you say, even if it's killing them off for no reason. But you'd have to be a sick person to kill off your never-complaining workforce like that. They may not look all that intimidating, but they don't mess around in the battle. And even if their brethren fall in the heat of action, the rest of them fight on without flinching. These guys know the true meaning of teamwork and will do whatever it takes to get the job done. And that's just talking about the main characters of the game. The rest of the game has excellent layouts, great challenges, and a surprisingly addictive nature. Hopefully, I've convinced anyone who hasn't already played this wonderful franchise to give it a go. And yes, Pikmin 3 is the main reason I'm getting a Wii U when it comes out. Wow, this is going to cause some major backlash. Putting the mascot of the company at the number 8 spot is shocking indeed, and I can already see that dislike button getting trampled on, but that's the price to pay for having a difference of opinion. Mario is responsible for not only some of the greatest games of all time, but for bringing video games back from the brink of non-existence. But let's talk about why Mario is so special. He's helped change the gaming industry a few times. His games are easy to pick up and play, making him widely acceptable to gamers and non-gamers alike. His games are bright and full of color, charm, characters, power-ups, catchy music, and memorable locations. I could talk about how he could fit into just about any game genre, but believe it or not, his entry on my list is not counting the spin-offs he's been in. In fact, there's one spin-off in particular that I actually like more than his platforming games. But you'll see it soon enough. You're the man, Mario, and I respect you a lot. Whoa, dang! Someone put Sin and Punishment on a list of favorite Nintendo franchises? Yeah, 'cause it rocks! While the first one was good, it alone would never have made it on my list. But the second one, the second one, oh my loving God, the second one is just magnificent! Not in terms of story or characters, but in gameplay. Shooting, dodging, flying, blasting, meleeing, and deflecting. Both games require you to focus more on what's going on around your character so you can properly avoid the obstacles in your way. In other words, multitasking is essential to surviving, and shooting everything is just fun. Not to mention they throw in a few creative moments here and there. This would actually be a close third or even second on my list, but with only 2 entries in the franchise and a mystery of whether or not they plan to continue the series, I can only place it on 7th. Though if I see another installment, it might just take my 2nd place spot. Well, that didn't take too long now, did it? Yes, I actually enjoy Mario Kart just a little more than his actual platforming games, but when you look at it, it's the same functionality. Creative level designs, easy to pick up and master controls, characters, and power-ups. So why do I like this more than the actual Mario series? Duh! For the multiplayer mode! It's fun, it's crazy, it's addictive! Oh, but what about the 4-player co-op in New Super Mario Bros. Wii? Is there online support so I can play with or against anyone, anywhere, at any time? No, didn't think so! Hey, Mario platformers are great, but how many memories do you have of beating your friends to the finish line or taking away their last balloon? I don't think I had to justify it any more than that. Addiction, thy name is Pokemon. If I were to place the games on how much I've played them, Pokemon would take top honors without question. What can I really say about this enduring series? The formula might be getting stale since we've been doing nearly the same thing for about 15 years now, but there's so many Pokemon I want to catch and train. Here's the thing, with most other RPGs, your team is limited to about maybe 5 to 9 characters, and you usually only get to choose 3 of them at once. With Pokemon, you have almost 700 Pokemon to choose from, each with their own moves and abilities, making it very simple for anyone to pick a team of 6 that matches a person's own personality, whether it's for sweepers, defenders, trickers, or however you want to play it. You can battle and trade with friends close by or around the world. Plus, there's more strategic elements such as items for them to hold, natures that affect their stats, hidden elements like EV training and the Poké virus, so even if you train the same Pokemon more than once, it will always have different stats. There's a ton of depth with this game that most people aren't even aware of, and one of the reasons I have trouble putting it down. No, really, it can't even keep track of how long I've been playing some of them anymore. Though usually I just leave it on. And yes, your eyes don't deceive you, I have a Game Boy player now.
No! This list automatically fails because you put a groundbreaking series like Zelda at 4th! It deserves nothing less than first place to infinity! You're a joke! You know nothing! Your opinion isn't valid because I said so! I'm unsubscribing forever, you retard!
Yeesh! Some people need to take a chill pill and understand that everyone has different tastes and opinions. I've said before that I wasn't interested in Zelda games until I played the Ocarina of Time, and then I was hooked! Zelda is a triumphant franchise worthy of being called a legend. Whether it's for the gameplay, the locations, the items, the characters, the story, the emotions, or even the fantastic music. Every official Nintendo Zelda game has something truly unique and diverse, making each entry different from the last and just as phenomenal. So why only 4th? Well, it's because while I get excited for a new entry in this series, if any of the next 3 franchises get new games announced, I might as well celebrate by dancing. Nope, still hasn't gotten old. Mario may be the man, but Donkey Kong is a beast! More specifically, the Donkey Kong Country series. My favorite genre in video games are platformers, and the DKC series isn't just a landmark in platformers, it's a pioneer. We're talking about what was once spectacular graphics matched by an incredible soundtrack, challenging level design, secrets, and animal buddies. I thought the series was done for until Retro revived it, and I hope either they or someone else will do another one. The DKC series is a treasured Nintendo franchise that should continue to live on. And for the love of bananas, bring back the Kremlin Crew! I can't even get my thoughts together on how much I love this series. It was one of Nintendo's most groundbreaking, innovative, and beloved franchises they had in their arsenal. It's a shame the series hasn't exactly felt the same since Nintendo has been letting other companies work on it instead of handling it themselves. Hey Nintendo, stop cloning Mario games and make a brand new StarFox game the way it should be. Fast-paced, lasers blast and path change and teammates talk and barrel rolling decoy save in action. Well, either you, Retro, or Treasure, as long as it plays like a real StarFox game. Which reminds me, it doesn't really feel like I've had a proper StarFox game since the 64 days, and the remake doesn't count. Adventures and Assault were nice distractions, but I'd rather have a StarFox game that plays like this instead of this. But my love for the series has been cemented by the Super Nintendo and N64 games. I was very upset that StarFox didn't get a Wii game, and they better fix that problem with the Wii U.
I'm on my way.
You better be, or I'll be very, very, very sad! This should have been obvious. We're talking about a franchise that puts Nintendo's most beloved mascots and special third-party guests all in one place and have them beat the polygons out of each other. The mechanics are simplistic enough to understand and never get confusing. With most fighting games, I can't understand what this means. But Smash says, hey, you want to throw a fireball? Just hit B. You don't have to move left, down, and attack to do one. That overcomplicates things. Not to mention the levels are faithful interactive recreations from where they come from. The music is gorgeous. There are different modes to play around in, and knocking my opponent off screen always puts a smile of triumph on my face. First one, Melee Brawl, I love them all! Ah, that rhymed. Crud. Well, anyway, I do like Brawl a little more for personal reasons, but it did have many shortcomings as well. Come on, Super Smash Bros. 4, expand everything that Brawl fell short of. Like that. And that. And that. And that concludes this list. And instead of asking why wasn't Kirby or Metroid on my personal list, why don't you just make a comment about your 10 favorite Nintendo franchises? You know, if you're a Nintendo fan, that is.
Sakurai suggested then was a specific idea to make Smash Brothers for both Nintendo 3DS and Wii U.